The Cleveland Browns are heading into the 2025 season with one of the most crowded and complicated quarterback rooms in the entire league. Deshaun Watson's future is murky, Kenny Pickett is trying to reclaim his reputation, Joe Flacco is somehow still in the mix, and now, two rookies have entered the conversation, Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And let me tell you, the fan base is already splitting in half. On one side, you've got the Gabriel supporters, fans hyping up his college tape, his release, his mobility. But on the other side, that's where I stand. Because if the Browns are serious about finding a long-term solution, someone who can really reset the identity of this offense and bring real leadership to the locker room, it's Shedeur Sanders, not Dillon Gabriel, that they need to invest in. This video is not about hype or headlines, it's going to be about logic, fit, and the future. So, let's walk through each of these quarterbacks one by one, and I'll break down exactly why Shedeur Sanders is the answer that Cleveland's been waiting for. Now, let's start with the obvious, Deshaun Watson. On paper, he should still be the Browns' QB1. In reality, he's a $230 million question mark. Since arriving in Cleveland back in 2022 via a massive trade and record-setting, fully guaranteed contract, Watson has only played 12 games, and his performance, underwhelming at best. He's struggled with accuracy, rhythm, and durability, never once looking like the MVP caliber quarterback that the Browns thought they were getting. Now, after multiple injuries, including a re-torn Achilles in early 2025, there is serious doubt about whether he can actually play this season or even get back to full strength. The Browns recently restructured his deal to lower the cap hit for this year, but in doing so, pushed a staggering $81.6 million hit into 2026. Cutting him isn't an option either. Not with a dead cap north of $170 million this year. So right now, the Browns are stuck in quarterback limbo. And that is why this conversation matters. Cleveland can't afford to waste more time. They need to start grooming the next guy now. Not a short-term patch, not a maybe he pans out experiment. Now, before we even get to the rookies, we've got to talk about Kenny Pickett, because honestly, that move never made much sense. The Browns traded for Pickett back in March after his rocky exit from Pittsburgh and subsequently Philly. He wanted a fresh start, and Cleveland gave it to him. Kinda. But here's the thing. If the front office already had plans to draft not one, but two quarterbacks in April, why bring in Pickett at all? I mean, he's not a proven starter, he's not on a rookie contract, and he's not going to be content holding a clipboard behind Joe Flacco. Or eventually behind Shedeur Sanders or Dillon Gabriel. So, what's the long-term value here? The timing just doesn't add up. If the Browns were committed to developing a young quarterback from this class, taking on Pickett feels more like a panic move than a planned one. I don't know, maybe it was a hedge in case the draft didn't fall their way. Maybe it was depth insurance with Watson's future in doubt. But either way, it just clutters up the QB room, complicates the reps, and takes attention away from who this team should be focusing on. But now, let's talk about Joe Flacco. At 40, he is the most experienced quarterback in the Browns room, and he has made it very clear. He's not here just to mentor. Flacco has stated that while he understands the value of mentorship, his primary focus is on competing for the starting job and leading by example. He believes that the best way to guide younger players is through his actions on the field and in preparation. Given Watson's uncertain status due to injury, Flacco's experience could provide the Browns with a stable presence under center. His leadership and understanding of the game can serve as valuable learning opportunities for the rookies. Allowing Flacco to start the season could offer the team a balanced approach, maintaining competitiveness while giving the rookies time to develop. This strategy could be particularly beneficial for Sanders, who's shown promise during OTAs. In essence, Flacco's role could be pivotal, not just in leading the team on the field, but in setting the tone for the next generation of Browns quarterbacks. So, now that we've got Flacco covered, the real conversation begins. Who's next up in line? Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders? It has been a quiet but steady debate amongst Browns fans and analysts. Even though neither rookie is expected to start week 1, everyone is watching very closely to figure out who might take over down the stretch. I mean, this isn't just about winning a backup job, it's about positioning yourself as the long-term answer. And right now, both quarterbacks bring something different to the table. Gabriel has the early edge in terms of reps. He's been getting time with the first and second teams, and that tells us that the coaching staff sees real potential in him. He's smart, he's mobile, and he ran a fast-paced offense in college that somewhat mirrors what Stefanski has done in Cleveland. Now, when the Browns drafted him in the 3rd round, it felt like a calculated move. Reports even said that he was their QB2 on the board behind only Cam Ward, who went number 1 overall. Now, that tells you just how serious they were about him. I mean, they believe in his tools. But here's where the picture gets murkier. During OTAs, Gabriel has been inconsistent. He finished a recent session 8 for 12 for 73 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. I mean, not terrible, but not necessarily electric either. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders didn't just hold his own, he put on a show. Sanders went a perfect 10 for 10 for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. He was sharp, efficient, and decisive. That's not something you expect from a 5th-round rookie who hasn't even gotten first-team reps yet. And that's the crazy part. Despite lighting it up, Shedeur's still not getting those top-tier looks. According to Daniel Afusi, he was the only quarterback at Browns OTAs who didn't receive a single first-team snap that day. So the question is, why? Some argue it's draft politics. Gabriel was picked higher, so he gets the reps. Others think it's about easing Sanders into the system, letting him work his way up without rushing. Either way, the results speak loudly. Sanders is making the most of his chances, and it's getting harder to justify keeping him buried on the depth chart. Gabriel supporters will say he's more game ready, that he's polished and steady, and that the Browns wouldn't have invested a day 2 pick in him if they weren't planning to use him. Now, that might be true. Gabriel has good touch on his deep ball, and he processes well pre-snap, but he hasn't elevated anyone yet. He's safe, but predictable. Shedeur, on the other hand, is dynamic. He commands the field. He looks like a guy who knows that he belongs, and that's not something you can teach. There is a confidence to how he plays, a calmness in the pocket, and when he throws, it's with purpose. The timing, the placement, it's all there. And while, yes, he's technically QB5 right now, that's not gonna last if he keeps playing like this. There's also the intangibles. Sanders has leadership written all over him. He's composed, he's mature, coming from the football family he does, none of this is too big for him. He's been groomed for this moment, and it shows. Now, to be fair, it is still June. I mean, nobody's winning the job off of a few OTA sessions, and with Flacco likely to start the season, this might be a long game. But come mid-season, especially if injuries hit or the Browns fall out of contention, the pressure to develop one of these rookies is going to grow fast. And when that time comes, it's going to come down to who looks more ready to lead. Right now, Gabriel has the system's trust, but Sanders is earning the locker room. There's a big difference there. It's too early to call this a full-blown quarterback controversy, but it's not too early to say this. Shedeur Sanders has arrived, and if the Browns are smart, they'll stop wasting time with arbitrary depth charts and start giving him the real opportunities he is clearly earning. The Browns find themselves in a very rare position, one with both chaos and potential in their quarterback room. They've got a high-priced question mark in Deshaun Watson, a veteran bridge in Joe Flacco, a confusing wild card in Kenny Pickett, and 2 promising rookies who could represent the future of the franchise. And while the early reps favor Dillon Gabriel, it is Shedeur Sanders who's turning heads with production, presence, and poise. This decision is bigger than just week 1. It's about setting the tone for the next 5 years. Gabriel might be more polished today, but Sanders has the higher ceiling. He's already proving that he belongs, and he hasn't even been given the keys yet. The Browns don't need to rush this. Flacco can hold it down for now, but when the time comes to look to the future, it shouldn't be a debate. It should be Shedeur. Because when you strip away the draft order, the politics, and the narratives, the kid just plays. And Cleveland's been waiting too long for a quarterback who can do exactly that. Alright, Browns fans, this is where I turn it over to you. Who do you want under center when the smoke clears? Are you rocking with Dillon Gabriel and his upside in Stefanski's system? Or are you on board with the Shedeur Sanders train like I am, believing it's only a matter of time before he takes over the franchise? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. Don't hold back. I want to know who you think should lead the Browns into the future. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more in-depth NFL content, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next one. This quarterback battle is just heating up, and you know I'll be here to break down every step of it. Until next time, I'm out.